Welcome back, Two Fools, One Bourbon. I'm Justin.
I'm Matt.
And today we are on remote location in Portland, Maine at Man and Oak with the owner, Mike.
Yep. welcome, guys.
So we had talked to Mike via Instagram for a while now because Man and Oak in Portland is a whiskey bar, like a rental bar. You bring in your own booze, you put it in a locker, and then you can come in and you can mingle and you can network with folks and share bottles and everything. It's super cool. But Man and Oak did a pick, this Penelope Project X pick. So we've had this for a minute and been talking to you forever to try to make this happen here in your location here in Portland. So finally we're here. We're going to try this Penelope Project X. Super excited about this. I haven't opened mine at all. We just opened this. I took the cellophane off, so it is a fresh crack. So don't be upset with that. But super excited to talk to you about your location here. We took a little tour, and it's super freaking cool. So thank you for having us.
Yeah. So the one thing, and I'll correct you because you were nice enough to bring me on camera with the Man and Oak thing. So not a whiskey bar. We talked about it a little bit. You know, we gear towards the whiskey people more. It kind of speaks to us, you know, as far as like, oh my gosh, I can keep my stuff there, and you know, people see it, and I can see what other people have. But there's all sorts of things here. There's mezcal, and there's tequila, and there's wine, and I got one guy who keeps a sweater, a book, one bottle of whiskey, and like a mason jar full of joints because he walks home, and I'm like, you can't smoke in here, but whenever you want to take it home, do what you want to do, right? So it's really just your own rental space.
Sure.
You know, and we see ourselves as like, you know, this landlord over miniature boxes, pretty much. So it's whatever you want to keep in there, and we're fine with it. We give out these funny awards, like some mock awards for like best use of space. We got a guy who keeps like minis, and then he like built in, you know, almost like shelves in his little unit, so like it's like multi-tiered. Yeah. So then he can, you know, so it's fun. The point is you can do what you want with the space and put what you want in there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was my words about the whiskey bar. Yeah, we did a tour, and you talked a lot that there's a lot of Tito's in a lot of these little lockers, which is super cool. Yeah, you rent the space, you put whatever you want in it. Right. Come into Portland, have a couple, talk with friends, meet new people, bottle share, whatever it is, and then you hit the road and go get the $16 martinis down the road.
That's right. Yeah. Mostly between people come here, you know, before the game, before the show, before their reservation, and kind of use this place as that third spot, right? Instead of like inviting everyone to your house, being like, hey, let's go over here and have some drinks. Everyone's like, let's meet at the club, have a few drinks, then you go do your normal day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said this was pretty much born from COVID, closure of bars, people stuck in their houses, not able to get different bottles and things like that, which is super cool. I've seen, certainly there's been lots of stuff on Instagram and you know, all the social medias where people built their garage bar out of COVID, right? Because they couldn't go out, so they just decided, we'll just make this at home, and you did this here, and then allowed people to come in, which is fucking sweet.
Yeah, and you got a corner suite in downtown Portland.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And then open the doors for everybody. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah, the intent was out of COVID when the restaurants closed, just to really have a spot for everyone who's really into this. And again, we had whiskey in mind, but you know, kind of generated into being everything.
Yeah.
But it was the whiskey guys that were coming in, being like, hey, we all get together. You know, there's no restaurants. You know, we just get together at each other's friend's house and. We all pick a different bottle and share it, and that's kind of like what gave me the spark. And then it was, okay, how do I do this? You know, let me see some other things like it. And we see the lockers. But lockers are usually, when you see private lockers like this, they're usually part of a full-service restaurant, right? So the lockers are always like this added-on gravy.
Right.
So you think of it like your Capital Grills and your Watch Hill Proppers, your golf, you know, private golf clubs. Right, they'll have the lockers, but this is one of the only standalone bottle clubs in the nation. I think there's 11 because I've like searched the internet, scoured to find it, see. Hey, I wanted to like toot my horn and see if we were one of the biggest. I think in terms of locker number, we are. I don't think in terms of members we're the biggest, but like as far as the most lockers, I think we've got the most, which is kind of wild, right? Because Portland, you wouldn't think that would be where we stacked up, but. knowing that we couldn't be a restaurant and make money, we couldn't sell drinks and make money, we couldn't sell food and make money, we're like, okay, it's lockers, and lockers is all we got. So let's just have a shit ton. I saw one space in St. Louis. It's called the Sugar Cube. Nearly the same identical thing, right? Started during COVID, and I called him up and I'm like, hey man, I own this place in Portland, Maine. Looks kind of like your place. It's really fucking cool. So he looked it up and he, Instagrammed me and was like, oh, that place looks awesome. I'm like, can I call you? Like, can we, see if there's any like symmetry or, talk about, what you do for member engagement and all that, can we cry together about insurance and all that stuff. And he's like, absolutely. So I gave him a call and almost verbatim the same club, right? He's got 100 lockers. They all hold 18 bottles where we've got 3 different styles. But it's really interesting because he has 2 different seating options. So with his club, you got to call in, you got to make a reservation, and you're only there from 4 to 8, and then 8 to 11 in blocks. And I think, it's for a few reasons, right? Like St. Louis, obviously much bigger city, you've got millions of people. That place is just going to be packed, to the gill, where Portland, Maine, it's pretty chill here. You guys are here right now. It's, 4:30, and there's like 2 people hanging out there right now. Yep. So different dynamics, different places, but really, there aren't many of these. So there was 2 in Chicago, there's like 3 in California, there's a few in Newark where there's no restaurant, no bar, it's just standalone lockers, and that's it.
That's awesome.
Let's crack this baby and talk us through this pick.
Yeah, let's do it.
How you chose it.
Yeah, how did you hook up with Penelope? Did you look at other distilleries or?
So Luxco has a locker here. We got a couple brand lockers here where the brand will pay for the lockers, and our members are able to at certain times, like see what's new, what they have, and I'll pour it in 1 second here. And anyway, so they got a locker here, and we've had a good relationship with them for I'd say 2-3 years. I went down to Luxco and I did a couple picks with the store, I think 3 years ago, and ever since then we've been kind of going back. So as Penelope started launching, we were one of the first ones to do the toasted barrel pick, and that was the first Man and Oak barrel that we offered the members. So we did this one, did a special sticker, and the way we do our picks with the club, like I said, we're goofy about this.
That's awesome.
Is
see if I can get that.
Maine's interesting, right? Being a controlled state, we can't just, I would love to just buy the barrel and then push it out through the club. I can't do that.
Yep.
Completely illegal on so many levels. So everything has to be sold through one of the agency stores. So we'll do the pick. In this case, RSVP picked it all up. In other cases, other stores along with RSVP will pick it up.
So when you say pick it up, they agree to receive.
They agree
bottles?
they agree to purchase the whole thing, and then we'll send out an email to our members saying, hey, Man and Oak, single barrel pick, no limit. They're at RSVP to pick it up. Send me an email if you want multiples, whatever, right? So then I'll put a manifest list together. If it's going to multiple stores, like we just did a Bar Hill pick we gave them our Weller barrel, and then they aged the Tomcat Weller gin in the Weller barrel, and that was a single. It's ridiculous. It's so good, and that went out to Damon's, to Ruper's, to Hilltop, to Oak Hill.
And the stores aren't putting their name or their brand on these bottles, right?
No, but it doesn't hurt them either because we're the club is getting.
You're pushing customers to them.
Yeah, we're pushing customers there. But not only that, like our members sometimes are living out in other places. They're living in Wyndham. They're living in Boston, and they're living down by Wells. So it's really eclectic, right? And the more we get known for doing these and picking some good picks, which I think we've done, it becomes one of those things. And as you guys see, sometimes you're chasing the picker and not necessarily the store. Right. So we would like to be known as picking some decent barrels, but you're only as good as options you're given sometimes, and it is what it is, right?
And how many members do you have in the club?
At any given time, like we always stay around 300 with lockers full. Like there's give and take. It's like a gym. And people will pop in, they'll pop out. Sometimes they're here, and we know they're here for 6 months, and then they go hang out in a beach town or Europe or something, or they're gone.
Yep.
Or they're with their kids, or they're just not going to be going out much. So. So they don't. They know they're not going to come here a bunch, and then they're like, "Hey, I'll be back in the summer," and then they do come back. So That's always nice. So to get back to the Penelope, we had a relationship with them. We did that one barrel. We crushed it with that. I mean, it was sold out instantaneously, and we're like, yeah, let's do another. And that's when they first came out with the Project X series. And I think they only offered 2 to the state of Maine. I think, yeah, they came here. They said they were going to do the X series. They said they were going to do many. And I'm usually a super snobby purist on bourbon, and I'm like, I don't like, finish this and finish that. I love this one. I think one of the fun things that we do here, instead of like at the store where it's just like, some of the sales managers getting together and picking a barrel, with each barrel selection at the club, we put together an email and we're like, hey, who wants to be on this selection committee? So then it's the members' chance, who never really get that opportunity, to sit down with the brand, with the brand rep, and go through the whole barrel picking shenanigans.
And did you guys go down to Penelope to do
No. She the rep brought it up. Okay. She brought up, I think, 6 samples. Nice. To go through, and actually I didn't even. This was maybe second on my list, and I was thinking more. My mind was kind of gearing more towards like a retail standpoint, and I got to kind of fight myself on that. Like, hey, okay, what's going to sell? Like, people walk in, and then like, but then ultimately it's a bottle club, and I want the members to pick it, and we picked this one. And as far as the taste profile goes, it's outstanding.
Speaking of,
yeah, and just to clarify, because they have a bunch of different Project X finishings, this is the Cognac cask finish.
So, I mean, right off the
cheers. Yes, thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
A little bit about the, and I think you showed off the bottle maybe, the being the all black sticker, completely different at the time from what everything else they were doing with the label wise, all black bottle, black sticker, Project X. So I called the graphic designer and I'm like, what are you thinking with this one? We're both like instantly on the same page, right? We're, I'm born in '78 and I'm thinking comic books, right? Project X, X-Men.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, let's do it. So he starts drawing some sketches up, and we thought, just like the red sticking out, and like maybe like some sort of like, I don't know, Cyclops kind of guy, with the X coming out, and he throws in Penelope pictures, within the picture all over the place, and it kind of looks like a comic book label. So
it definitely does.
We have fun with that one. All the single barrel picks we do, and I really think it sticks out, it stands out, and it just makes for a beautiful pick.
It was funny. I think when I went in, so I went in and I picked up these bottles at the store, RSVP in Portland. Oh, it's gonna be trash.
He said it. This is stupid. Let me fix it.
It's gonna rip it right in half.
I don't care.
So I've got other ones if we need to.
So
if I totally ruin it.
I'm drinking it with the dude that picked it. Like, I don't even care about the label. This is so cool.
Yeah. So I picked up the 2 bottles at RSVP for both Matt and I, and they were out back.
Yeah.
They weren't anywhere. Oh yeah, we can get into this story, but while we're just talking about the sticker, I just want to talk about that real fast. So there were no stickers on it. I had no idea we were stickers. They didn't hand me a sticker at the checkout.
Yeah.
And then you via Instagram, like, hey, you got the sticker? I'm like, God, no. So I went back and they gave me 2 stickers. And they still had like a couple cases, but they only told me I got the last 2 stickers.
You didn't. I mean, I've got a gazillion of them. But maybe you got the last 2 that were there at the time.
Could be.
So I was keeping them there. I keep them at the front just in case I need to like hand one out or something.
Yeah, they
like
were at the front. So yeah, the funny story on how I even found out about this. So I saw it was either Facebook or Instagram. There was a post from Man & Oak that talked about the Project X pick.
Yeah.
And there was going to be a release on a day at RSVP. And I was like, fuck yeah. I go to the gym every morning and I'll just stop. They open pretty early, I think, right? 9, I think.
Yep. 9.
And I'm like, I'll just go and I'll stand in line and grab a couple bottles. And so I get there. I think I got there at like 8:45 just because that's just what happened. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't have to fight anybody for this because there ain't nobody here. And I was the only person there. And so the door opens and I go in and there's nothing. There's no setup. There's no anybody. I'm like, what the fuck kind of release is this? Ain't nothing happening. And so then, I went to talk to the cashier and I asked her and she's like, oh, yeah, I heard about that. okay, can I get one? And she's like, yeah, and she made a couple calls. That's like she didn't know where it was, and then so they were out back, like where the cashiers are, that little back room there. And she goes and grabs one, comes out. I'm like, sweet. Can I get 2? And she's like, yeah, I don't see why not. So she walks out back and grabs another one. That's how we ended up getting
Yeah, so I mean, the cashiers and some I drive them crazy. I really do. They have no idea sometimes like what I'm bringing in and what I'm releasing and like what my intentions are. So sometimes I have a list, with that first one, with this one, I mean, I had a list down to the last bottle, right? So with that one, I was like, I wasn't going to post it. I didn't post it. I had a list up front. I'm like, make sure you if Bob, wants 5, make sure it says 5 next to Bob so and so. Because we only did a half barrel. We didn't know how it was going to go.
Sure. And
it went phenomenal, right? So I kind of gave him a hard time as far as like, don't just offer it up. Don't try to sell it. And then this one came, and kind of like, as the brands all got their shit together at the same time with barrel picks. Because I don't know if you guys were doing, or like during COVID, barrel picks, I think there was like 5 distilleries like doing, club restaurant picks. That was it. It was Buffalo Trace, it was a few others. And then I'd email all those brands, I'm like, hey, like everyone's like dying for barrel picks. They're like, oh, we don't have a barrel program put together. I'm like, well, okay. And then when they did, they all did it like at the same time. They're like, hey, here's some barrel picks. And I'm like, so I think, especially for this state and for this city, it kind of got overloaded. And what you see too much, as I'm sure you see it everywhere, is when a brand does a barrel pick, they do this big dump all over the state, right? So if Luxco does one, you're going to see Penelope drop just about everywhere because you got to send the truck and you got to do the logistics and it's got to get here. So when it gets here, it's here, and it's like, wow, then everyone goes, they're like, everybody's got that, and you're like, shit.
I do tend to see the barrel drops kind of come in masses where 4 different stores will have a Yellowstone barrel pick, and it all seems the same. Yeah. They all have different labels.
Yeah. Yeah, we've asked a few times that they stagger picks. Like, I'm like, listen, what are they doing up the street? And they're like, oh, well, they're doing pick next month. I'm like, I don't want to do pick next month. I'll do mine 6 months from now. Right. And they do the same thing, right? Yeah. So I'm conscientious about like what they're getting when I get my Weller picks. If I've got it in. As far as what they're picking, are they doing a 107? If they're doing a 107, I'm doing a full proof. If they're doing a full proof, I'm doing a 107. Right. And that's kind of.
Have you seen a 107 store pick in Maine anywhere?
I don't think I've seen a 107.
What's happening here?
Tony usually just kind of rides in that one.
Is that the one in Thompson?
Yeah, he's got a great guy. I know the guy that picks it along with them, and he's got a phenomenal palate. So they do an excellent job with their 107s. Bo would do the release, they would either get on Facebook and say, we're going to do a release of Weller Full Proof this day, this time, get in line, right? Then you see a line kind of wrap around the block. Mm-hmm. And we like doing this thing where I was just kind of utilizing Instagram, and then like once the pallet was dropped, once it was unwrapped, once it's ready to go, then I'd be like, Weller Full Proof at the store, 1 per person, go. Like, people are like kind of racing each other to the store and like mean mugging each other on the highway, and we were having fun with it. But the days of the lines out the door, unless it's something completely, if we somehow had enough, Bland's Gold, like
I was if you do like an
barrel,
allocated, a real allocated
like
bottle,
you would see lines around the block. You're not gonna, as good as Penelope is, as good as, we do some Old Forester picks, and we did a Russell's pick, which is standing. No lines out the door. They'll be gone, in a week, but no lines out the door. Not these days. Not with a lot of things. Not with us in this state.
And some of these that you're talking about, are you talking about Man and Oak, or are you talking about ours?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah. Again, some of the barrels we do for Man and Oak are going to be scooped up mostly by members.
Yep.
So it's just going to be kind of like if you know kind of thing.
Perfect. Yep. We're in a couple clubs through Facebook and other means,
sure.
and that's similar. And they have VIP statuses and stuff like that. People that buy more, they get early access to releases or whatever. And then there's just a lot of snooze you lose. Like you just gotta pay attention, and if you don't, you're out.
There was one that did an Eagle Rare pick fucking this morning, and it was a low yield. It had like 90 bottles, sold out in 30 minutes.
So what here? Or
No. Just one of the clubs. Yeah.
I can't believe those. We had a Buffalo Trace barrel like that, and like I was like, is there another truck coming with like the rest of it? They're like, this is it. I'm like, this is it. It was like 89 bottles. Yeah. I'm like, well, maybe the evaporation on this thing was like, maybe the Angel Show was killer, and it was just like, it was this like anomaly of a barrel, and it's just the best thing ever. It wasn't trash. It was just like normal Buffalo. I'm like, what is that?
You've talked a few times about Buffalo Trace. We've heard that getting a barrel pick through them is month-long, 2-month-long waiting list or years waiting list. Like,
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a status that you can accumulate at some point.
Okay, so I'll put it this way: a club like ours, even like I guess with the status we're accumulating, I can't get a Buffalo Trace pick. Not in the state of Maine. The way it kind of goes down is Sazerac will go to their Eastern Control manager and they're like, you have 50 barrels of Buffalo Trace to play with. And that control state manager for the Eastern Control, he'll go to all the control states on the East and he'll be like, North Carolina, you get 15 Buffalo Trace barrels. New Hampshire, you get 20. You get this. Vermont, you get 1. Maine, you get 3. Right? And then the state manager, he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna take those 3 barrels, and like Bow Street you get 1, RSP you get 1, and bootleggers you get 1 or whatever, right? And that's kind of how everything is like, from a top-down scenario is allocated out. So while I know the guys at Sazerac, they're amazing to me. They don't have the allocation to this control area to 1 more barrel to go to a club, not yet. Maybe it's coming. I hope so, but anyway, that's why. So it's, and again, depends on your reach. I mean, if I think like there's one Instagram group, it's like Dads Drink Bourbons or something like that. They've got like a gazillion members, and their reach is just unbelievable, and they get whatever they want.
I'm sure there's some status and some.
So
it's got to make sense for Sazerac.
If they're seeing that,
right,
we got to get these guys a barrel,
right?
And sometimes that becomes the case. So they're watching, they're listening, they're paying attention to things. But currently, that's how it works in the state of Maine.
And you may have mentioned it, but just when you do a barrel pick, when you go to release it to your members, it has to be released through a controlled store.
Through an agency store, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there do you have to go through the state control, or can you just partner with the store and say, hey, you're going to get a pallet?
No. Okay. No. If there was a concierge service, oh my God, I would love that. And I'd be the first to do it. I would be the first to do it. You've got to go through, every brand has to be brokered, right? So if there was like I've been trying, before Smoke Wagon came to the state, now it's been here for about a month. But 2 years ago, I was trying to get a broker to represent the brand, to pick it up, so then we could pitch it to the state, so then we can finally go be like, oh, hey, here it is. Can we get a barrel? And sometimes it's just like politics with the... Yeah. So they all have to be brokered. Because the state, everything that sits at the state level, as it comes to the state, whether it's there a day or not, you're paying rent on that bottle while it sits at the state. So it's called bailment, right? So you need someone who's going to pay the bailment. The state wants to, send somebody that check. So most brands, if they're selling out, if you're a brand and you can't keep up, you're a rare character. Right?
Oh yes, sorry.
So if you're a rare character and you're selling out of everything you produce and everything you put on the internet, why are you going to pay state bailment money if it sits there? It's not worth it to you, right? So you're going to be like, I'm not gonna send it to Maine. I gotta pay on top of it being there. So a lot of the brands, when we reach out to them or when I reach out to them, they're like, oh, we're not ready for Maine yet. As far as like they don't need to do the paperwork and it's just not worth their time.
Sure. Yeah.
So as distribution opportunities open up and they need, to get more pods and, they become more of a national brand, then those things matter and state placements matters, and then we become part of like a bigger picture of things.
We went right through the bottle. Didn't talk about a single thing of it.
Yeah, I drank all of it.
Oh yeah, we forgot all about it. I probably should try that again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take another little taste. Definitely, you can definitely get a lot of that cognac finish out of it for sure. because it has that type of liqueur flavor. Oh Jesus, sorry.
So you remember when I was saying, like, when we first originally got these samples, and I was like thinking from a retail standpoint, and a lot of people are they don't even know what cognac is, right? They just the word kind of turns them off. They don't want it because they don't know it, and it's kind of a mystery. So originally that's why I was like, maybe not the cognac. But from a taste profile, you're right. Like it's this is cognac is a Une Blanc grape distillate, and it's sweet, and this really kind of pairs right well with this bourbon. So you're getting sweet on top of sweet, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
there's something that cognac barrels do to whiskey that is undeniable. You think even with some of the brands that I'm not the most fond of, like Crown Royal XL, that's cognac barrel finished XL. I mean, cognac barrel finished Crown. It's phenomenal. Right, so cognac's got a good place. It blows my mind, and I don't know if you ever thought about it, that all these sherry cask finished. Like every brand has a sherry cask. Who the fuck is drinking all this sherry? Like no one knows anyone that's 156 years old. Like I've never go to someone's house.
Honestly, all of the Project X barrels and finishes are super weird to me. I think that's the point. Like the Cognac finish, the sherry finish, the Armagnac or whatever finish, like Armagnac. There are so many different variants, and they're all weird. But I feel like that's the vibe that Penelope's going for.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know if they would ever get a Project X that they would then largely distribute into a shelfer.
No, yeah,
I don't think that'll ever happen.
I can't speak for them. I think they wanted to. You guys are nailing it. They wanted to have fun. With these barrels. Just be like, hey, we got this opportunity to use this one. Let's do it. Let's see how.
It's cool.
Let's see how weird we can get.
This is good though. I'm not a huge cognac fan. I want to bring in. We have some cognac from Montenegro that I think you should try if you're even remotely a cognac fan. Cognac, whatever. But yeah, this is good. The finish is kind of strange, a little honey.
Steak.
Yeah,
I think it'd go great with steak.
Yeah, this is one of those that it was at the table that when we first released it, some members picked it up, and then everyone brought it, and then as you're sitting there, you're like, third, fourth, this is crazy.
It is super drinkable. It's 108 proof, very drinkable. Really nice nose, fruity, has that fruitish liquor, right? Wine type nose to it. Kind of a light mid palate, and then finish is pretty quick.
It's got the same viscosity of like a wine too.
It is a little bit thinner.
Yeah, it's not.
Yep. But I like it. Yeah, I don't know if it's an everyday pour, but
this would be a fun one to break out with friends that aren't like true bourbon.
Yes.
Or whiskey fans, and like, hey, you try this, you might like it. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Good job.
Thanks.
I'll have to get my hands on some other Man and Oak picks and kind of compare them. So
yeah, you have to. We'll have to figure out when's your next pick? Do you have one on
So
the
we just did
docket?
one. We just did one with. I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but we did the Weller, the Bar Hill. So Bar Hill Gin out of Vermont.
Yes.
Okay, so they did the Tomcat one, right?
Yep.
We gave them our Weller barrel, and then they took the Tomcat. They aged it for another, I want to say 6 months. In the Weller barrel, and then that was a single barrel, 100 proof, Weller aged Tomcat gin, and it's amazing.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's out now.
So it was an empty Weller barrel that they aged the Tomcat.
So anytime you do a pick, you get all the product and you get that barrel.
Okay.
And this Weller one, I was talking with we're really close with the guys at Bar Hill. They're super great guys, and I was like, hey man, I got a Weller barrel. You want to do a Tomcat? And he's like, yeah, we call that Stray Cat. I'm like, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah, so twice barrel Tomcat essentially, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
And they brought it back after, I want to say they brought it back after 4 months, and it was good, but not exactly where I wanted it to be. And then I had this like fleeting thought to release it unfiltered, and they're like, absolutely not, because it looked terrible, right? Anything unfiltered is going to look, just like cloudy and weird.
It's not an IPA. It's a gin.
Exactly. Do I like it better that way? Yeah, I kind of do. It's it's interesting. You get all the the esters and all the fatty oils and everything that's just all there. But from a retail standpoint, it's never going to sell, and they didn't want to do that. And I'm glad they did, because they took it back, they aged it for another 3 months, and then when they brought it back here, I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like, I've never tasted anything like it. Bar Hill, they do it for me, man. I met the guy, Jeff Cole, at a Hannaford reset 5, 6, 7 years ago. And he's like, you're into whiskey, right? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, well, I got some gin in my trunk.
Huh.
You know, if you want to try it. And I'm like, it's weird, but yeah.
Let's
go.
Let's go
out of the parking lot.
And I tried it. I was like, this is insane. This is so good. So we did, as a store, we did a barrel pick with them years ago. And then as soon as I opened this place, I knew I wanted to do something with them. I didn't really exactly know what it was that I had in mind. And once that Weller barrel came, and I'm like, this has got to be it. And they were 100% behind it.
Awesome.
And they crushed it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's super fun. You got to get into some sort of these shenanigans. Awesome.
Yeah, it gets really fun when you could kind of like, you know, grab this guy from this area and be like, hey man, you do your thing that you do, and like let's put you with this guy that does his thing. And,
right.
And,
yeah.
You know, just
the community.
Smash your heads together, come up with
so
something cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a distiller, and I'm not a collector. I'm not a blender, but I love making the connections. Right?
Yeah,
I've always been in
great.
love with the industry, the history of the industry, like the people behind it, the names, the goofy stories. All that has been
cool.
like my crack in this industry has been the stories behind it and the people. So the more I can get those guys together and be like, hey man, have you ever met, you know, this guy? Go, no, I've always wanted, like, let's you know. So this club kind of also serves as that catalyst.
Yeah.
Like, you know, let's get this guy here and, you know,
It's
bring you
exploring
here.
all of the things that you love, like
Pretty
all
much.
of your passions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like collecting is what pulled us together initially, but it quickly devolved into, like, the bottles don't matter, the sharing and the meeting the
Right.
people and
Yeah.
talking about the stories.
Yeah,
and,
we've done multiple virtual episodes with some
Yeah.
folks, and like Woodford Bourbon guy, of course Orlando with Flintlock Barrel Society, and hopefully that grows into more. And yeah, it's been super fun to
These are
learn
the
people's
best
stories
episodes.
and understand how other people are looking at.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
either is it bourbon or whiskey or whatever their journey might be, learning about how they got there and what drives them is super cool.
It's fun. And the bourbon Instagram community is super inclusive, I guess would be the right word. I don't know what I'm looking for.
It's so
But they're just
friendly.
like, they're like, hell yeah, come on,
Yeah.
we'll
It's
jump on
wild.
with you.
Yeah.
I made the comment to him the other day where I was like, this is like, it's like an echo chamber almost.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, hell yeah, bro. Great meme. Great reel. Great bottle. I love that bottle. It's like, I love you. Thank you for,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
this is great.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is so friendly and
Yeah.
welcoming and
Yep.
yeah, it's cool. So,
Yeah, it's fun. You guys will do well with that. They're super inviting. That whole, you remember like how crazy Instagram influencers blew up with bourbon like during COVID? I mean, it was like they were everywhere, and I was
well,
at
still
first
going strong.
it is, but you know, it kind of like it apex.
It leveled off. Yeah,
It
yeah,
apex,
for sure,
and like
for sure.
the strong really kind of survived, and they're still out there doing
Yeah.
their thing. They're doing it well. But I mean, everybody for a moment was, you know, and they had the time to. Maybe some of them fell off because they were like, I got to work again. Yeah, that's
Right.
Yeah,
just the way
yeah.
it is.
Everyone was a
There was a
concept.
husband-wife
Yeah.
combo. They were funny as hell. God, they were funny. And they were just reviewing bourbons, and they were just, I mean, they didn't have the, you know, the verbal thesaurus, and they didn't give a shit. They didn't,
Right.
they didn't
It's like
care.
us.
And they, it's kind of, I mean, kind of like me
Husband and
too.
wife. Yeah, same combo.
No
Yeah.
vocabulary. Yeah.
Stupid as fuck and stupid as fun.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. It's twice
All
so
right.
stupid. Awesome. Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate you jumping on with us here. At
Before
your
you go,
place.
what's next for Man and Oak?
Yes,
What is the
yes.
next endeavor?
Well, the next pick we're doing is a Heaven Hill single barrel 7-year bottle and bond Man and Oak pick.
Okay.
I'll make sure you guys know about it.
We'll buy a couple.
1,000. I'll take them there. I don't really care. We're big Heaven Hill fans. Right
Oh
now,
yeah,
so-
they've been crushing it.
Yeah,
They've been
some
absolutely
amazing
crushing it.
products, for
They're
sure. What's next for Man and Oak? What, any big projects on the horizon? Any
we
big
did
dreams?
we did a trip to Kentucky with 9 of our members, where, you know, so kind of like utilizing the relationships we already had, then the ones we gained through the club here, and you know, I wanted to do it. It was, I've been to Kentucky before. I've done the Bourbon Trail a number of times, and it's always the same scenario, right? Like, you go down and you tour and you do a little tasting with your little vials of like half ounce, and then they shove you off to the gift store where you got to spend copious amounts of money that you didn't want to spend, and then you do it again in 2 more spots, and they take you home, and then you have all this regret at the hotel. And you're like, this was terrible. But like that's, you got to like appeal to the masses in this whole like new bourbon tourism world. So when we opened the club, people were like, hey man, you should do a trip to Kentucky. And I'm like, nah, it's not as crazy. It's not as fun as you think it is. It's kind of work. And but then I started thinking more about how I want to do it. Like, and if I did do it, here's what I want to do. And I wanted to make it more about the experiences with the distillers. And that's, I kind of think what everyone has like in their dream cycle of bourbon, like, smoking cigars with Stephen Fonte from Yellowstone, right? Like that's it. So, picking a barrel with him, having a barbecue at Yellowstone, no other, guest or whatever, and then just hanging on the porch and smoking with Stephen Beam and Fonte. So we did those things, right? We did, we did private tours with Wally Dant, and it was an amazing tour. We had a private blind tasting with the owners of Watch Out Proper. So that was a big endeavor. We would do it every year if we could manage it at the time.
Right.
We're gonna do that probably once every 3 years, and it was a phenomenal trip.
Yeah.
As far as expansion of the club, we're not going to. Everyone's always, I get it at least once a week. Hey, are you gonna franchise? Are you gonna do this more? Can you open one at Bangor?
Yeah.
It's a, I still have a day job, right? Like this is a passion project of mine.
It's a hell of a passion project. Holy shit.
But, the moment I leave this one to open a new one in Kittery or whatever, like I essentially
Quality
I
goes
fire
down.
myself from this job.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got a good relationship with all the members here. It's an intimate relationship as far as like, I know why they're here. I know what they want to do. And you're having real conversations. I'm a sports fan. Like I like just watching TV, but there are no TVs here. We don't do that here. It's one of the bastions of like eye-to-eye contact that remain.
You're bringing back a
life.
lot of those things that you don't have anymore.
So we try to hold on to it dearly, and I think another one would just kind of ruin that. So we won't expand, and the more we expand, the more you make this less exclusive, right? So this is kind of a cool thing to have. So we want it to stay like a one and done.
You guys have definitely focused on the experience of things, whether that's entering or creating this environment where you have to have conversation or you're incentivizing it.
Yep.
And then you're talking about going down to distilleries and drinking with the people that are putting in the barrel like that. This is an experience. It's not a club. It's
right. It is, and it's really a social group. Like we've done boat trips in the summer. We do in the summertime. We've done like Mondays. We're not open to the club, but we've all gotten together and used the club, I guess, like power to go to a bar. So we're like, hey, we're all meeting at 6 o'clock at the end, and throwing him some dough and just whatever, right? So then we kind of bring the club to other bars. So it's really kind of morphed into a social club, which we just all kind of have the center thing around alcohol.
It's a friend group that I have to pay to be your friend.
Well, but you're okay with that.
I mean, I pay.
That's not beneath you.
I mean, I send you a lot of Venmo transactions, so maybe this is the thing.
You joke, but it's funny. My wife, I forget what we were talking about, but she's like, I'm just gonna go hang with a friend. She's like, typical wife of like 10 plus years. She's like, who are your friends? And I'm like, whatever. And I'll name someone. She goes, nope, customer. And I'm like, well, what about so-and-so? She's like, nope, he has a locker. And I'm like, shit. And I'm like, they're my friends. I promise you they're my friends.
They like me for me. That's awesome.
Yeah, but also, most of us are usually satisfied by that once a month relationship anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you get wife and kids,
you can't do that constant. You're not always talking to somebody, and which is different than
So next up as a club, we do a bunch of social things. Like we've got Chili Cook-Off is one of our busiest days. We do that every February. We added a like boozy bake-off where all the members are gonna like do baked goods, throw booze in there, and come bring it here and share it. Everyone, just does what they do.
Yeah.
We do trivia nights and other stuff like that. So that's kind of the realm we stay in, and kind of like what we'll be doing for a while.
Cool.
That's great.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Really appreciate you having us here.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it's been super fun. Man and Oak, Portland, Maine, if you have the opportunity to come check it out, do it.
Absolutely.
Look it up on the Googles or the Apple Maps or whatever, you'll find it.
We're there. It's my number. It's my cell phone number. They can, if they see it, they can just shoot me a text, and super accessible and easy going. So
we'll tag you everywhere too.
Yeah.
Instagram.
No, I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, man.
2 Fools, 1 Bourbon. Follow us on Instagram, Discord, or link trees in the description of this video. I appreciate you hanging out, listen to us talk to Mike. Have a good day. Have a good day. Why? I can't close these things.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Okay, where do I sign up?
What's up?